Hello everyone, my name is Sanya Mahajan. I am a legal intern in LEXCLIQ company and today's topic of mine is negligence under the tort. As we all know, a breach of legal duty of care by the defendant which result in undesired damage to the plaintiff is known as negligence. Here is the introduction to the topic, that is the negligence. Firstly, we come to know that it is an Indian law of tort which is based upon the English common law, and the law relating to the negligence is adopted and modified by the courts of India on the principle of justice, equity and good conscience. And here is the meaning to it. The term negligence, which is derived from the Latin word negligentia, which means failing to pick up. General sense, the term negligence means the act of being careless, and in a legal sense, it signifies the failure of to exercise a standard of care which a doer as a reasonable man should have exercised in a particular situation. Here is the definition which is given under the case, that is the Jacob Matthew versus State of Punjab, and this was discussed by a apex court, and they stated that negligence is the breach of duty which is caused by the omission to do something which with the reasonable man, which is guided though by those consideration which ordinarily regulate the conduct of human affairs would do it. And it involves the constituents of the negligence, that is a legal duty to exercise a particular part of his breach of contract, and if there is any breach of said duty, and consequential damages. And there is some essentials of the negligence. In an action for negligence, the plaintiff has to prove following things. Firstly, that the defendant owned the duty of care of to the plaintiff, and the defendant may have a breach to his duty, and plaintiff suffered damage in and consequences to it. And here is the detailed explanation to it with regard to essentials. Firstly, that is the duty of care to the plaintiff. It means that legal duty rather, or merely a moral, religious or social duty. The plaintiff has to establish that the defendant owned to him is a specific legal duty to take care of him, which he has given a duty of it, and thus he does not have to breach that duty. And there is no general rule of law defining the specific duty. And there is a second essential, that is the breach of duty, which we are discussing here. Firstly, the breach of duty means non-observance of the due care which is required in a particular situation. And what is the standard care or required? The standard care or is done by the reasonable man in an ordinary prudent man. And if the defendant has acted like a reasonable prudent man, then there is no negligence. Thirdly, there is the damage. As per the essential part of the negligence, it is also necessary that the defendant's breach of duty must cause damage to the plaintiff economically or socially, and the plaintiff has also show the damage, and thus is not too remote a consequences of the defendant's negligence. And thus therefore this was all about the negligence, and here is the conclusion. With this we come to know that negligence signifies that failure to the exercise the standard care which a doer as a reasonable man should do, and by law have exercised the circumstances. And if there is a duty to take care, then the lack of care of a legal consequences will occur as per the law. And this was all about the negligence under a tort. And so guys, this was all about the negligence topic, and further we meet in the next video. And please do subscribe this channel, LEXCLIQ.com.